Watchman do well in the bookshops?
It did. I don't think it did as well. I think everyone thought this, To Kill a Mockingbird is obviously a phenomenon. So I think the publishers and the bookshops thought everyone was going to pounce on Go Set a Watchman. It did very well, but it wasn't received like that.
No.
And actually, I think because there's been some critique of To Kill a Mockingbird in the last probably 15, 20 years, that whilst it's still maybe appreciated, it's not the absolute cornerstone of American literature that it was once thought of. So Go Set a Watchman, it was those people who were maybe perhaps either curious or in that bank of Harper Lee could do no wrong. But then the people who had made up their mind that it wasn't the greatest thing just kind of sat back. So I don't know what this will do other than all the bookshops and booksellers have been blowing up about it and customers are already talking about it. I think that's a result of because Go Set a Watchman didn't do great, people were like, right, so I'm curious to see what this right again. Here's another thing, let's cross our fingers and hope that that's brilliant. Yeah, we'll see. So this is Impossible Creatures, Catherine Rendell, who's a really well-established children's author anyway. Rooftoppers is one of hers that if you haven't read, or if the kids haven't, Rooftoppers is great, amongst others.
And the Wolf Wilder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Impossible Creatures was the start of a new series. It's fantasy, it's dragons, it's beautiful, it's moral messaging, it's all of that, but it's just really good fun. This proved so popular with customers, reviewers, booksellers, communities, schools, teachers, school kids. It became Waterson's Book of the Year, I beg your pardon, last year, over adult fiction, over everything, and that is not unheard of, but it's very unusual. It tends to be the adult fiction or non-fiction that gets the spotlight. So the second one will still have Impossible Creatures, but it will be Impossible Creatures, The Poison King. And it's September that's due. So where I think A.F. Stedman, the Skandar series, book 5 is coming out, that will get some attention. People have literally waited. I mean, I think as soon as they had this one printing, they had signed up the next one. Yeah, the next one. So I think it's going to do wonderful, wonderful things. So yeah, this is the first. This is Impossible Creatures, which is in paperback now, but it will be another lovely. It's green, I can tell you that. That's about as much as they've told us. I know. So green, and I imagine if they've gone to all this effort with the straight edges and things for the first one, they'll do it for the second.
She is absolutely brilliant.
She's wonderful.
She's probably the cleverest person in Britain.
What's the age range?
So I should say Skandar and this one and Mizzy are what we would class confident readers. So we bracket that as 9 to 12.
Right.
But truthfully, when you get into series and fantasy series especially, it'll transcend the age groups. It'll go much older. And my wee girl would have read it when she was about 8. I think it depends on the child, it depends on the reader, it depends, is the mum or dad or granny or auntie getting involved in the reading of it. But just as a general guide, 9 to 12, and it would be the same for Skandar and the same for Mizzy Mysteries, is it?
I just love getting kids reading again.
Yeah,
I just love them with a book.
Yeah.
And
The best ones like that are very readable for adults as well.
Oh yeah.
Nice adventures.
I have my best friend's son. He's 42 and lives on the Isle of Skye, and we sent him a copy and helped him.
Anyone got any last recommendations to
Yeah, I do, yeah. So a really good book for your summer holidays, because it's coming out in June, is The Treasures by Harriet Evans. It's the start of a trilogy, so if you like series, it's really good. It's a multi-generational family saga. It starts with Alice, who collects these treasures in her bedroom. Her father gives her one every birthday, but on the eve of her 16th birthday, there's a tragedy and she doesn't get her 16th treasure, but she gets a clue to where it might be, and there's a link to a house, this mysterious house in England called Seven Sisters. I forgot to say, Alice is in New York, so she doesn't know why she's been sent to this house in England. And then the story shifts to Tom, who is brought up in Scotland by his father, and he wants to find out about his mother, and he's drawn to Seven Sisters as well. So it all ends at Seven Sisters, and you find out how their lives are interlinked over the history of the. Sorry?
Harriet.
Harriet Evans, and the book's called The Treasures. It's the first in a trilogy, and it's out in June.
Any last recommendations? Yeah.
It was recommended to me, it's called The Parable of the Sower, a bit bleak, written in '93, but set in 2025 America. So very interesting, sort of a third way through, but yeah, interesting read. I suppose it's about dystopian set America and how America is.
So non-fiction then?
Didn't want to say, but a couple of references already just have made me go, oh really, within like 25 pages. So
She's an amazing writer. Her other book Kindred as well. The Parable of the Sower, Octavia Butler.
Any last recommendations for you guys?
Alice Wynne, In Memoriam,
Oh, beautiful.
supposed to be magnificent.
Yeah.
Yep. I've only got people telling me this, but yeah, it's supposed to be just a lovely book. It's huge, but it's a nice book.
Yeah, it's World War One. It's trenches and thereafter, and
And young men.
it's two young men in love with each other and how you navigate that.
Yeah.
Beautiful book. Gorgeous
Yeah.
writer. I would leave you with this chap, Alan Goh. This was his first book. It won the debut prize at Bloody Scotland last year. This was crime fiction because that's just my jam. And he's a wonderful writer. This, The Silent House of Sleep, basically Alan Goh is a retired pathologist. So he's taken his knowledge, brought it to his writing, and he's created the character of Dr. Jack Cuthbert, who is a First World War veteran, and there's some beautiful passages in here actually that go back to the trenches in Flanders and so forth, and just wonderful. They're kind of interspersed throughout the book. The story takes place in 1929 London, so he's moved from Edinburgh Medical School down to London, and he is at the start of forensics as we know it. So Alan Goh takes all his pathology. So in Alan Goh's own words, there's some squelchy bits, and there are. Don't read it with your tea and toast in the morning. Definitely not with your manually digger jam. So it's two bodies found in a London park. How are they linked, and how in 1929 do you ever decipher what on earth is going on? He is a very fastidious character. There's some beautiful character building in it. He also happens to be a gay man in 1929 who lost his love in the trenches and has to hide. So it's mystery, it's very much historical, brilliant book. The Moon's More Feeble Four, Most Feeble Four, I think is the second book, and that's out next week.
Any last one, Susie?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out. We spoke about it earlier. All the Colours of the Dark by
Oh,
Chris
for goodness sakes.
Whitaker. It's out in paperback just the other week. It's a huge book. It's about 600 pages, but the chapters are about 3 pages long. You fly through it. It's again about an aftermath, about a young boy who is kidnapped and then escapes. And when he escapes, all he can talk about is the girl that he was kidnapped was held with him. And she was the person who got him through. But nobody can find any record of this girl being kidnapped. And there's a lot of talk of maybe he imagined her to get himself through it. And the novel's all about his relationships. It spans, I don't know, 30 years or something of his life. Chris Whitaker is an amazing author. If you ever get the chance to hear him speak, he's so interesting. And his previous book, We Begin at the End, really recommend that as well. So definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, that's it from us. But thank you so much to our panel, Denise, Fiona and Susie. Thank you very much.